Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast, number 2217. The rituals we know is what we're talking about tonight. It is episode 2 in our topic this week, which is, what is our topic this week? I didn't put it there. Hang on. We've got something about sacred on there on our topic. I can't remember what our topic is. Everyday Sacred. So we're on to volume 18, Everyday Sacred. This is episode 2, the rituals we keep. Rituals shape the rhythm of our days. They aren't always grand ceremonies. Sometimes they are quiet habits, the morning pauses, the evening reflections that gently hold our lives together. These rituals remind us of who we are and what and where we belong. We create continuity in the midst of change and connect. They create continuity in the midst of change and connect us to something deeper, to meaning, to memory, and sometimes to each other. Oh, yes. Hang on. My screen's doing, I don't know what. It's what happens when you come back from a nap and you have to wake your computer up every time, and it has a mind of its own. Like it drops Facebook off the setup and everything else, and it's still doing its wake up thing and got everything going everywhere. It's one of the rituals. My computer's ritual. We put everything everywhere and you got to try and figure it out. Welcome to our world. What rituals teach us rituals are intentional acts that bring structure and grounding to daily life. They can be deeply personal or shared. Both carry significance. Simple routines like making tea or journaling, creating moments of mindfulness, honoring our rituals helps us slow down and appreciate what matters most. Everybody has their morning rituals. My morning ritual is as soon as I get out of bed, I make it. That's the first thing I do. I used to turn around to Zeffie and say, we've got, made 2 beds this morning. Yay, we're ahead of the game. So I would get up, make my side of the bed, and then she would just lay on her side, and she has a pillow at the end of her bed, and she would just put her head on the pillow and just watch me. What I was doing, watch me walking around the bedroom, watch me going into the bathroom, and then she'd keep her eyes on the bathroom door. She knew there was no way out of there, and so she would just stay there until I reappeared again. The bathroom was shower, toilets in there, closets, walk-in closets in there, so I could go in and get dressed and everything out, and I'll come out, be all dressed, ready to go for the day. Then she would think about getting off the bed. And as soon as she got off her bed, I would then go make her bed and I go, bed's made. Yep, that's 2 things done. But that was our morning ritual. Now I don't have her watching me and I only have to make one side of the bed, and her side is still made up. I haven't had the heart to take her bed off there yet. But those were our morning rituals. And then we would come down to the kitchen. She would get her morning meds. And then we'd go for our walk. I have not been off for a walk in 6 weeks, because she's been gone 4 weeks this past Sunday. And so about a week before she passed is when we stopped going for our morning and evening walks. And that was simply because she just didn't have the strength to do her walks. She would start her walks off fine, and we'd get about 5 minutes into her walk, and then she was slowing down and dragging, and it got to the point where on one of the morning walks, I just had to pick her up and carry her home, because there was no way she was going to make the walk home by herself. I could tell her blood glucose was dropping, so I needed to get, even though I had with me treats and marshmallows, they were not enough to get her walking back home by herself. So it was getting to the point where, that one, we had to let go of the morning and evening walks, and she was at that point happy to go out into the backyard and do her thing out there, which I was sort of like, the only time you ever went out there was in the middle of the night. But no, she was happy in the morning. She started her new ritual. She'd go stand by the back door. I would let her out. She'd go off, do her thing. She would come back in. She'd go have her water. Then she wanted her breakfast, and we were off and running for the day. So yes, you do have rituals. In the evenings, I have rituals that help me slow my body down, slow the brain down in order to go to sleep. So I have my evening rituals that I do. You'll find that throughout the day, you have little pockets where you do the same thing every day. What do you do when you first get up in the morning? What do you do to go to bed at night? What are your evening rituals? And sometimes if you miss one of them, the day kind of feels a little out of kilter. There was one time I jumped up one morning, went straight into the shower, had my shower, came out of that, and put my hair up in its little turban thingy, and wrapped myself in the towel, and went and did my moisturizing on my face and that sort of stuff, and brushed my teeth, and went and got dressed and came out, and the bed wasn't made. And I'm like, that's why it feels off, because I hadn't made the bed. I'm so programmed to doing that. And sometimes I just jump out of bed, and the odd time I jump out of bed and forget to do it. That was actually the Monday after Zephy had passed. I came out, my bed wasn't made. And I was ready to get going for the day. So, yeah. Let's see. What happens when you create space for rituals that nourish and sustain you? You hold on to small practices that anchor you during seasons of change. Yes. You discover that meaning often hides in repetition, simplicity, and presence. You connect your present self with memories, identity, and purpose. Most definitely can totally agree with that, can totally understand that. When Brad passed, what did I do? I got back into doing the routines. The only problem with the routine is that for 87 days, I had been programmed to jump out of bed, take Gus for a walk, come back, get dressed and showered and have breakfast, and then head off to the hospital for the day. And then come home around the same time every evening, take Gus for an evening walk and that sort of thing. And then Gus passed. And so that got taken out of my routine, and my routine was a little weird because I hadn't gone for the walk. But it gave me more time at the hospital with Brad. Then Brad came home, so I didn't have to go to the hospital anymore. I could get up in the morning, and there was Brad out there in the hospital bed. And then he left. He passed. And it was I was so discombobulated in those first few days with all of that happening. I didn't know who I was, where I was, or anything else. Thankfully, I had family around. My mum and dad were over here. They stayed with me for a month, just to help me get settled, get sorted, and all of that sort of thing, help keep me sane. But then when they left, they had been gone for a week, and then my dear friend Christy came out, and she helped me get all of my accounting books all in order, because I hadn't done anything with the accounting books for like 3 years, and so she got them all sorted out and everything else for me. And then she left, and then all of a sudden I was by myself. And now what was my routine? I still made the bed when I got up in the morning. I did that, but I didn't have a dog to walk. I didn't have to go to the hospital to visit Brad. And it was sort of like, oh, what do I do now? Where do I go? What do I do? And so I was starting to get back into work again. Getting back in, because that had become a habit. But my habit had been for 87 days was to pack up my office stuff, take it off to the hospital with me. And I had a little table that I would set up next to Brad's bed, and that would be where my laptop sat. I had a little shelf thing going on over here where I could put my notebooks that I was working from and my planner and things. And when the doctors came in, I shut everything down, put it up on the shelf while they did their thing. But yeah, things will happen that will upset your routines. But at the same time, when you are going through change, those routines can save you. They can save your sanity. They can, like the whole time when I was going through all the stuff with Brad, the first thing I would do every morning, make my bed. That was the first thing I'd do. Then I'd go and have a shower and get dressed, and then I'd go and have breakfast. That became my routine, and that's basically the routine I've always had, was get up, make the bed, go have a shower, get dressed, go out, have breakfast, go out to the kitchen, have breakfast. And that was my routine, and I was able to keep that routine. It was what came after the routine that got changed a lot. So, yeah, routines can help save you and when seasons are changing. Where did I get up to with that? Yeah, so how we carry forward is we protect the rituals that nourish your spirit and bring you joy. Oh, also, and there was also my quiet time. Whether I was meditating, whether I was doing Bible study, I had my quiet time in there as well. So that helped keep that going too, because so when we carry forward, we protect the rituals that nourish your spirit and bring you joy. You let old rituals go when they no longer serve who you're becoming. And there were some things that got changed because of circumstances, and then it's like, I actually miss doing that ritual, so let's put that back in the equation. I don't need that ritual anymore, so now I need to change it to something else. That will happen. You'll experience, sorry, oh, I got burps going on here, excuse me. You will experiment with new practices that align with where you are now. Invite others to share rituals to strengthen connection and belonging. In your legacy, the rituals we keep become part of our stories and ripple outwards. Remember those little ripples we were talking about a few weeks ago? They influence what we pass on, not just traditions, but the meaning and the care woven into them. So now we have our daily questions for you. Yes. Oh, got a knot right here. It's been annoying me all day. And you can put those into your journals. And if you want to join us for conversation and everything else, then scan the QR code up here. It says Porchlight School. We do have a school community where you can continue these conversations with us there. We put in a daily quote of the day. We put a daily a reflection question in for the day, a quote of the day. The podcast replays get posted on there as well. And we had our very first coffee morning this morning for the coffee out. Nobody showed up, but that was okay. I was there. I showed up. I can't say nobody showed up because I showed up. And we're going to be doing that every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to come join us on that, you can. You just go into the community and all the details are there along with the Zoom link and everything else for that. So now we have our reflection questions. Oh, and I've joined these other really cool communities on there too. One is for book lovers, whether you are an author or a reader or both. And another one is, what was the other one? Oh, digital marketing. That was the other one. Yeah, there's some really cool communities in there, and I'm slowly working my way through them and figuring out which ones I want to join and that sort of thing as well. So your questions, your reflection questions: what daily rituals bring you the most comfort or grounding? Are there practice? Like I will tell you this: when I feel myself out of control, I will go out to the backyard. We've got the little half wall there. On the other side of that half wall is just hard packed dirt. I will walk over there. I will kick my shoes. I will sit on that half wall. I will kick my shoes off, and I will scrunch my toes in that hard packed dirt, and it helps ground me. That's another little ritual when I feel myself getting out of control. That's where I go. As long as it's not 120 degrees outside, we're good. That's Fahrenheit for those of you back in New Zealand. For those back in New Zealand, it's probably somewhere around between 45 and 50 Celsius. Number 2, are there practices you've outgrown but still hold on to, and why? Do I? Probably. I'll have to go through all my different rituals. Which rituals help you reconnect with yourself and your values? And number 4, what new rituals might support you in this season of life? And our closing thought for this evening is rituals are invitations to pause, connect, and remember what matters most. In the repetition, we find grounding. In the intention, we find meaning. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. And we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.